Luke, here we are. You've waited for the Premier League for so long. Debut year here at finals night. What are the emotions like right now?
Yeah, obviously really pleased to be here. As I said from the start, the goal was to be in the top four. Did that. So it's obviously a special feeling to be involved in the media day to day, which is obviously you want to be involved in because it means you're going to be playing tomorrow. So yeah, I think I've achieved what I wanted to achieve so far, and then hopefully tomorrow I can go on and achieve even more.
You come here as world number one, world champion, and favourite for the Premier League in front of what's going to be a record crowd in the UK for darts. Any nerves? Yeah. No,
I think if you're going to get any nerves, it's probably going to be in a world final, to be honest. And that is the biggest occasion in darts I've been involved in. I know what it feels like to be in the most pressurised game in the world. So, you get a bit of butterflies maybe because it's an incredible occasion, and except for the Worlds and possibly the match play, this is probably up there in the top three, that's for sure, of the ones you want to win. So there'd be that little bit of apprehension, of course, going into tomorrow, but like you said, I think all four of us have been involved in the biggest game in world darts, so this should be something that we're used to now.
You play Michael van Gerwen tomorrow. You beat him last week, but he's obviously changing equipment and searching for something. When you see someone of Michael's stature doing that, do you think, I like this because he's not completely happy with his game?
I'm not sure if he's changed equipment specifically. I think he just might have done it for that week because there was not really much on it for him. But if he's changed altogether, then that shows the mental strength he has to be able to do that. For me, if I was to change my darts, it'd be a lot of different feelings. So, he has great mental strength, and what's been and gone before will not affect him. He's won this tournament 7 times. He knows what it takes to win it. The other 3 of us don't. So that will obviously be the extra bit of ammunition he will have on us all. But as a whole, I think me and Luke have probably been the 2 standout performers of the tournament so far. And if we both go on and play our best, then it could see us meet in the final. But for all 4 players that are left, it's anybody's game to be. I think we're all at a standard that I wouldn't be surprised whoever wins tomorrow.
You touched on Michael's been and done it, and you guys haven't. Is that something that you're thinking of then, the fact that Michael knows how to win this tournament and you guys haven't had the opportunity yet?
No, not at all. I'm just saying he's got that bit of, in his locker, like, he's not been playing his best, but he knows how to win these tournaments. I don't think he was playing his best last year and then turned up and played unbelievable in the final and won it. So, what I'm saying is because he's not been playing his best, I'm not thinking this is going to be an easy ride for me. I've got a good draw against Michael, because that's not how I'm thinking at all. What I'm saying is he's won this 7 times. He knows how to win it. So you'll get a different version of him tomorrow. I think I've beaten him like the last 5 times I played him, but that all stands for nothing tomorrow. It's a completely different game, a lot on the line, and if we both turn up, it'll be a fantastic game.
You obviously know the stats. Do you like records against players?
If records happen, you get told about them a lot. I kept getting told a lot about how I lost to Luke 5 times on the trot, or 6 times on the trot, wherever it was. And all of a sudden now I beat Michael 5 times on the trot. Everyone likes to remind him. So sometimes they get thrown in your face a little bit, so you can't help but know they're there.
Luke, thanks very much.
Thanks, Phil.
Luke, you just mentioned it there that you beat Michael, I think 6 times on the spin now. We know what you think about it, but do you think that'd be in his mind? Because that's a very unusual situation for him to be in. He's not been in it before, where he's can't get over a certain player.
Yeah, maybe it will be, but he's like the most experienced out of us all, and so maybe he's, like I said, he's got good mental strength, so he can put that to one side. I think, if you're losing to someone so many times, it can become a little bit of a task where you're thinking, I can't beat him, and then you try a bit extra harder to beat that person. Maybe that happened to me when I was playing Luke that time, and I think he kept losing 6-5, and then maybe you're just trying that little bit too hard to get over the line and beat him because you haven't beat him for so many times. So it can play in your mind, it may play in his mind, but like I said, he's been in this situation so many times that I don't think what's gone before will affect him going forward for tomorrow.
A few months ago you won the World Championship, now you're 2 games away from winning the Premier League. Only Phil Taylor has won the Triple Crown in the same season. Is that something that you think about, the fact that you potentially could do that?
It isn't something I think about, but of course it's something that I'd love to do. That really would be something special, wouldn't it? I think the 3 major titles I'd dreamed to win was the World Championships, the Premier League and the match play. So, I ticked the hardest one off so far. There's 2 to go. But yeah, that really would be something, and if I can achieve that would be fantastic. But it doesn't have to be in one season for me. Obviously, right now I'm focusing on the Premier League title, because this is a really, really tough one to win, and all my focus is on tomorrow night.
It's a strange thing to say still, but this is your first Premier League season, which is incredible already considering what's happened in the past 12-18 months. How have you found the full 16 weeks? Have you enjoyed it? Obviously there's a lot of travelling. Everyone loves playing on the big stage. There's a lot of sacrifices too, really.
Yeah, I've enjoyed myself. I think it's been really good. You know, it's mentally and physically challenging. It really is. It's a lot tougher than you expect it to be. Being away from family and all the travelling is tough. I won't lie, but I can't sit here and moan too much because I'm in a privileged position. You know, I was desperate for it last year. I didn't get it. You know, so I'd never sit here and slag it off and say, oh, it's really, really tough, because it is. But of course, I'm the one that accepted it, so I have to face the consequences. And you know, it's not as bad as it seems. It is really fun, and you have good times. The hardest thing about, I think, is sometimes that you do go through bad times where if you can't get them wins and you're playing all the time, it kind of drags you down a little bit. But you know, as a whole, I've really enjoyed my experience being up in front of them crowds every week. It's made me a better player, to be honest. I think it's going to grow me as a player as well.
Gerwen,
Thank you.
Luke, you come into this on average to over 100 across the 16 weeks. If it all goes to form tomorrow night, do you feel that you're the man to beat?
Not particularly. I don't think I'm the man to beat. I don't think anybody of the 4 players are the man to beat. I think we're all very capable. We've got 3 world champions, a world finalist this year. You know, we're all capable of winning. I couldn't sit here and if I was a fan and tell you, oh, he's definitely going to win, because I don't really think there is a clear favourite. I might be it on paper, but you know, we're all very capable of going on and winning tomorrow night, that's for sure. I don't think you know, there's a clear favourite in my eyes as a player. But I know the bookies up there, you know, they're going to pick what they want to pick. But you know, I think we've all got an open chance of winning, that's for sure.
You said you enjoyed the campaign overall. What have you learned as a player over the last 16 weeks?
Yeah, I've enjoyed the campaign. I've learned a lot. Like it takes a lot out of your schedule. It's very tough being away from your family all the time. And you know, sometimes you can fall into that negativity if you're losing a couple of games here and there. But I learned at the end to try and drag myself up and not let it affect me too much. You know, it's grueling because at moments you can't buy a win, then you go on a run and win loads, and you can't. You know, so it's the up and downs of the Premier League. But obviously for next year, if I'm in, then I'll sort of learn from the experience I had this year.
Could end up being a special week for you if you were to win the Premier League and Leeds was to win the final of the weekend. I mean, how nice would that be?
That would be very special. It really would be one of the greatest weeks of my life, to be honest. You know, winning the Premier League for myself would be one of the greatest weeks of my life. But you know, for Leeds to go up as well would be unbelievable. It's the dream week, but these dream weeks don't always happen, do they? So I feel like something might not give, unfortunately. But if I'm sat in Wembley on Sunday and both have happened, then I'll be a very happy man. Thank you.
Luke, you've beaten Michael van Gerwen 6 times in a row. How did you do that?
By throwing the last winning double. I think Michael's had spells against me where he's beat me like 3 or 4 times on the trot, and then I've done it to him, and then he done it back to me, and then I've done it to him. It's just the way top level darts go. Sometimes you go on these runs, you're in form, and you can beat the player in front of you so many times on the trot. And you know, it happened to me against Luke Littler, happened to Luke Littler against Michael Smith. I think Michael Smith beat him 4 or 5 times on the trot. It's just what happens at the top level. You'll find that once you get that breakthrough and you beat them, then all of a sudden you'll go on the run, you'll beat them loads of times on the trot. So really, it's not something that I'll be thinking about too much going into tomorrow, because it's a completely different game, and what's gone before doesn't count for what's in store for tomorrow.
What's your opinion about him as a player?
Fantastic, one of the greatest players that's ever been. You know, he's kind of underrated. You know, I think sometimes people don't understand what he's achieved and all the records he's broken over the last 10, 12 years. You know, I think they forget that a lot. You know, he does go through periods in his game where he's up and then he's down, and then he's up and then he's down. So, you know, that's something that obviously probably disappoints him. He probably wants to be at the top of his game all the time. But, you know, I think the standard of darts nowadays is really hard to be at the top of your game for the amount of money we're playing for, and you know that we're playing week in, week out. It's hard to be at the top of the game all the time. So I think he's a great player.
You've lost a lot of weight, and you talked about mental issues. Is that still the secret of your success now?
Yeah, well, the mental strength I went through to get out of the rut I was in has obviously made me mentally very strong. You know, and I've gone through a lot of experiences this year in darts, you know, where you're facing on the cusp of defeat and then you bring it back and you end up winning. That is the certain thing I look for, that I think if I wouldn't have gone through the experiences I went through, I might not have been able to drag myself back from them losing positions, because 3 years ago I probably was a bit more defeatist in my attitude, where if I was behind I'd probably just not give up, but I'd sort of accept that I had lost. Whereas, you know, every major I went in last year, I seemed to be behind, and I managed to claw myself back by the mental strength I showed. So that definitely did hold me in good stead for, you know, winning all these major titles I've done.
You've won a lot of majors last year, you're the world champion, but still there are a lot of people are talking about Michael van Gerwen or Luke Littler. What's your opinion about that?
Well, they should be, because it's not darts and all about me. You know, it's not all about me because I'm world champion, world number one, doesn't mean everyone has to just talk about me. Of course they're going to talk about Michael van Gerwen, he's 3-time world champion. Of course they're going to talk about Luke Littler because he's the most famous dart player in the world. Of course they're going to talk about Michael Smith because he's created one of the greatest legs in the world. You know, these people are going to be talked about, of course. If certain people get talked about more than you, then it doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't bother me. I think some media have the perception that we care that certain people have extra attention, but it doesn't matter. The more the attention the sport gets, it's greater for us as players, because, you know, the sport wants the attention. That's what we want as players. So, you know, Luke Littler gets loads of attention. It's great. It's great for the sport. It really is. It will help boost our sport. It'll help build it. And he's doing a great job with building the sport like he is. So it's all good.
Thanks.
Luke,
Thank you.
hi. I'll have a couple of questions for yourself today as well, because I know you're a local boy. You stay as anyone's game tomorrow, but you do go in as the reigning world champion and world number one. Does that afford you a little bit more confidence when you step up tomorrow?
Yeah, for sure. And I think the last 2 weeks I'd probably be in the better form than everyone else, to be honest. I think 3 finals up, you know, final in Leeds, the final in the Euro Tour, then the final in Sheffield last week. So I've got that extra bit of form in front of me. But, you know, these are big occasions, so I feel like we've got 4 players that are all up for the big occasion. You know, I don't think I could sit here and say, oh, well, he's playing really much better than that person, or he's playing better than that person. I just think everyone's playing sort of decent darts, to be honest, and that's why I think it's anybody's game. Of course, I'm going to go into it thinking I'm going to win, because if I didn't think that, there'd probably be no point in me turning up. But I'm just being honest about that. It's anybody's game, but I do believe that I can go on and win tomorrow, that's for sure.
Well, talk to me about Sunday. How are you feeling? How do you think the game's going to go?
I'm really looking forward to it. I can't really tell how the game's going to go. Again, like I've just said, I think it's open. That one, I don't think anybody can call that. I'm hoping Leeds go on and win. It's a massive, massive game. It's probably the biggest game in world football, to be honest, because for the money that they can earn, I think it's like over 100 million. So it's a massive game, and I do feel sorry for the team that doesn't go through. Because if it isn't Southampton, they don't go through, then you've got to feel for them, because it's horrible. But I hope that's the case and Leeds go through. I think Leeds will win 2-1, but anything can happen.
How is it as a Leeds fan living in the south right now?
I don't live in the south. I live in the north.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
where you were
When I was younger, yeah, it was hard because I didn't get to see as many games as possible. Obviously, it's a long 4.5 hour travel to Leeds when I used to live in the south. Impossible to have a season ticket because you just couldn't make it every time with school, you know, Tuesday league games and stuff. So it was hard, to be honest. But we used to go up as much as we could. Now, obviously, I go a lot more. But of course, then again, nowadays I'm always busy on the weekends, so it's kind of hard to make it as much as I want to. But Leeds do sort me out quite a lot with tickets, so I'm able to go as much as I physically possibly can.
Final question from me. Have you had many messages of support or interaction with kind of the Newbury area and the people there ahead of this one?
Yeah, always. You know, the Newbury area will always be, you know, supporters of me. They always message me and all the people that I used to grow up with and hang around with in a darting vicinity. They all still message me and all speak. So yeah, they're all really buzzing for me and really looking forward to tomorrow night and hoping I can bring the trophy back.
Good luck.
Thank you.
In Rotterdam, we asked Michael about his rivalry with Luke Littler, and he told us my biggest rival is Luke Humphries. Do you agree? Who's your biggest rival?
Yeah, for sure. I probably am his biggest rival because, you know, we're world number 1 and world number 2. I think he's still 1 and 2. So yeah, we're kind of battling out for supremacy there, being world number 1. But I think, for me, I don't think there is a main rival. You know, there's too many good people in a big bunch that are all my rivals, to be honest. You've got Michael van Gerwen, Luke Littler, Michael Smith, Nathan Aspinall, Rob Cross, Gerwen Price. You know, all these people, they're all rivals of mine because they're all fantastic players, and I don't think there's anybody out there that's my main one, to be honest. You know, they're all fantastic, but if you're going to pick one, I guess Michael is, because we love playing against each other. We have a massive respect for each other. I mean, I beat one another, so, you know, as fun goes, we're our rivals, but in a good way.
He had a lot of good words about you, and he doesn't have often good words for his opponents.
Yeah, because we got a mutual respect. We get on really well. We spend a lot of time together, you know, when we're at the Premier League and, you know, go out for dinner and stuff like that. So, you know, we know each other very well. We have a great laugh and we have a great, you know, relationship off the hockey. So, you know, that's why we get on really well. And, you know, when we're on the hockey, it's just business. You know, we both want to beat each other because at the end of the day, we want to win the title. So, of course, when we're on the hockey, it's, you know, that friendship goes away and we want to beat each other.
Thanks.
My pleasure.